Discipline Equals Freedom, Field Manual by Jocko Willink. Picture this, a man who beats the sunrise every single morning. Not occasionally when he's feeling motivated, but every single day. His watch? Just a basic black Timex. But it's not really about telling time. It's a daily promise he keeps with himself. This is the same guy who led Task Unit Bruiser, the most decorated special operations unit from the Iraq War, through the absolute chaos of Ramadi's streets. Meet Jocko Willink. He's not here to pump you up with feel-good mantras or sell you some miracle morning routine. Actually, his message is the complete opposite. It's raw, it's uncomfortable, and it was forged in actual combat. Millions of people have latched onto this philosophy because it cuts through the noise with a simple, brutally honest truth about personal accountability and relentless work. Discipline Equals Freedom, Field Manual isn't just another self-help book collecting dust on your shelf. Think of it more like an operating system upgrade for your entire life. It's basically you declaring war on everything holding you back. The laziness that keeps you in bed, the excuses that roll off your tongue, the procrastination that steals your dreams. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds pretty hardcore, maybe too hardcore for me. Fair enough. But here's the twist that makes this whole thing fascinating. What if all this extreme discipline isn't actually about restriction at all? What if it's actually the secret door to real freedom? That's the beautiful paradox sitting at the heart of this book. By the time we're done here today, you're going to understand not just what Jocko's saying, but why it matters. You'll see how battlefield lessons translate to winning the war against your own worst habits. You'll walk away with concrete steps you can take, literally starting today, to stop procrastinating, take control of your scattered thoughts, and start building the life you've been putting off. This isn't about turning you into a Navy SEAL. It's about making you the commanding officer of your own existence. So get comfortable, and let's dive in together. So where does a philosophy this intense actually begin? For Jocko, there's no complicated origin story or mystical revelation. It starts with one question people keep asking him: why? Why the insane wake-up times? Why push yourself so hard? Why live like this? For years, the answer was straightforward. He was preparing for war. Somewhere out there, an enemy was doing the same thing. Training, planning, getting ready for the day they'd meet on the battlefield. When that day came, Jocko wanted to be ready. Mentally sharp. Physically dominant. Emotionally unbreakable. He trained his men the same way, with that same unforgiving intensity. And when the moment arrived, they were ready. They fought. They won. But then one day, the war ended for him. No more missions. No more men to lead into combat. So what drives him now? This is where the philosophy gets its soul. It's not about him anymore. It's about the ones who didn't make it home. Mark Lee, Mike Monsoor, Ryan Job. He speaks their names like a prayer. He carries their sacrifice with him every day. His freedom, every breath he takes, was purchased with their lives. So he refuses to waste it. He's going to live a life worthy of what they paid. Every second matters. He won't let them down. Right there. That's the beating heart of everything. Discipline isn't punishment. It's tribute. It's the deepest form of gratitude for the gift of being alive. Most of us spend our time hunting for shortcuts, life hacks, the easy button. Jocko's here to tell you that's all smoke and mirrors. The shortcut doesn't actually take you anywhere worth going. The easy road? It leads straight to weakness and a life full of what-ifs. If you want to be stronger, sharper, faster, healthier, better, if you want to be truly free, there's only one path. The disciplined path. It's the foundation of every good quality you admire. It's what crushes the 1,000 excuses your brain manufactures daily, that little voice whispering, "Not today. You're tired. Tomorrow's better." Discipline is what tells that voice to sit down and shut up. It's hard work, late nights, early mornings, practice, study, sweat, and grind. There's no way around it. So where does this powerful force actually come from? Here's where most people get confused. We assume discipline comes from outside, a drill sergeant yelling, a coach pushing, a demanding boss. Sure, that can work temporarily, but that's not real discipline. It's fragile. It crumbles the moment the external pressure lifts. The only discipline that lasts, the only kind that genuinely sets you free, is self-discipline. And the clue's right there in the name. It comes from yourself. From you. It starts the moment you make a decision. The decision to be better, to do more, to be more. If you don't think you're disciplined, Jocko says it's simply because you haven't decided to be, yet. It's a choice. You make the decision, commit to it, and embrace its power. When you do, it'll make you stronger, smarter, healthier, and better than anything else possibly could. Most importantly, it'll make you free. This all sounds great in theory, right? But what about reality? What about that moment when your alarm screams at you in the dark, and your bed feels like a warm cloud you never want to leave? What about when procrastination whispers that you should wait for the perfect time to start? People constantly ask him, "Where do I start?" and "When's the best time to begin?" His answer never changes. Here and now. That's it. You want to start working out? You want to eat clean? You want to write that book or launch that business? The time is now. The place is here. You have to initiate action. You have to go. That idea bouncing around in your head isn't going to execute itself. Those weights at the gym aren't moving on their own. You have to do it. And you have to do it now. So stop overthinking it. Stop researching forever. Stop making endless pro-con lists. Take the first step. Make it happen. Get after it, here and now. This brings us to one of the most powerful ideas in the entire book, mind control. When you hear those words, you probably think of hypnosis or manipulation. But that's not what Jocko means. He's talking about controlling your own mind. Your mind is a machine, and you're the operator. People ask him, "How do I get tougher?" His answer, "Be tougher." How can I wake up early? Wake up early. How can I stop eating sugar? Stop eating sugar. Sounds almost too simple, right? But that's exactly the point. You control your mind. You just need to assert that control. You need to decide that you're in charge. He frames it in a powerful way. He says feelings like weakness, laziness, sadness, and frustration, they don't get a vote. Let that sink in for a second. Your negativity doesn't get a vote. Your temper doesn't get a vote. You're declaring martial law on your own mind. You impose what you want: discipline, power, positivity, will. Don't let your mind control you. Control your mind. And once you've got it under control, you can set it free. Now you might be thinking, this guy sounds like he's made of steel. Does he even have weaknesses? He tackles this head on. He says, "I am nothing but weakness." He admits he's not naturally strong, fast, or brilliant. He gets emotional over silly things. He eats junk sometimes. He procrastinates. He cares about stuff that doesn't matter. His ego gets too big. He is weak, but he doesn't accept it. He refuses to believe this is who he's stuck being forever. He's fighting, always fighting, scraping, kicking, clawing at those weaknesses to change them. Some days he wins, some days he doesn't. But every single day he gets back up, clenches his fists, and moves toward the battle. He fights to be just a tiny bit better today than yesterday. This isn't about perfection, it's about staying in the fight. And that fight faces one of its biggest tests in dealing with stress. We all feel it. Work, relationships, money, family. It can feel crushing. Jocko's first advice for handling stress is to gain perspective. Imagine what soldiers faced on the beaches of Normandy, in Vietnam's jungles, or Korea's frozen mountains. Humans can withstand almost unimaginable stress, and so can you. First step, detach. Step back from the problem. Most stress comes from things you can't control. If you can't control it, you need to accept it. Don't burn energy stressing about it. If the stress is something you can control, and you're doing nothing about it, that's not stress. That's just lack of discipline. Take ownership. Fix the problem. But what about stress you can't control? The chaos life throws at you? You have to embrace it. Turn it into fuel. Use it to make yourself sharper, more alert, more effective. Use the pressure to learn and evolve. Don't fight stress. Use it. This leads to what he calls destroyer mode, that unstoppable berserker overdrive. He says it comes from balancing two opposing forces, emotion and logic. When logic says you can't go on, when your body is broken and the math doesn't add up, that's when you tap into emotion, your anger, frustration, fear. You channel it into one defiant thought. I don't. Stop. And when your feelings are screaming you've had enough, that you're going to break, you override that with cold logic, a simple, calculated decision. I don't. Stop. You fight weak emotions with logic, and you fight the weakness of logic with emotion. In that balance, you find the strength to never quit. This never-finished mentality is something he drilled into his SEALs. During training, he'd attack his platoons hardest after the primary mission was done. When the men were tired, heading back to base, their minds already on rest. That's when the real attack came. He wanted to instill one crucial mindset. It is never finished. You always have more to do. Another mission, another task, another goal. The enemy is always waiting, watching for that moment of weakness when you finally relax. So don't be finished. Be starting. Be alert. Be ready. Be attacking. Be relentless. Let the enemy rest. You don't stop. You don't rest. Not until the enemy is completely destroyed. And even then, you turn inward and use the opportunity to improve yourself. This philosophy of discipline touches everything. It starts with waking up early, yes, but that's just the beginning. It's working out every day. It's eating the right foods to fuel your body properly. It's disciplining your emotions to make sound decisions. It's controlling your ego before it controls you. It's facing your fears so you can conquer them. Discipline means taking the hard road, the uphill road. It can feel like your worst enemy, but in reality, it's your best friend. It'll take care of you and put you on the path to strength, health, happiness, and ultimately, freedom. Of course, walking this path means fighting some deeply ingrained instincts. One of the most dangerous is that little voice saying, "You've had enough. You gave it your best shot. You can rest now." Jocko says this instinct is a liar. It's your ego's defense mechanism, giving you a comfortable place to hide, where failure gets excused. It tells you it's okay to settle, okay to give up. You have to fight that instinct, crush it. If you need to retreat, make it a logical, tactical decision to regroup and attack again. Don't let it be a surrender based on the instinct of defeat. Replace it with a new instinct, one that says, get up, go, fight on. Make that your gut reaction to adversity, and nothing will block your path. But what about those days when you're just not feeling it? When you're exhausted, burned out, sick of the grind? What does Jocko do on those days? He goes anyway. He gets it done. Even if he's just going through the motions, he goes through the motions. That feeling might signal you need a break. But don't take today off. Wait until tomorrow. Don't give in to immediate gratification. Procrastinate on your procrastination. Chances are, when tomorrow comes, you'll realize that desire to rest was just weakness. It was the path of least resistance calling. And by going through the motions, you stayed on the disciplined path. You stayed on what he calls the war path. The war path is a path of war. War against enemies, yes, but also war against your own weaknesses. It's about preparing, sharpening your sword, maintaining uncompromising daily discipline in everything. It's war against weakness, so it leads to strength. It's war against ignorance, so it leads to knowledge. It's the path of fire and adversity, which is why it leads to freedom. And ultimately, it leads to peace. A huge part of this daily battle is what you put in your body. Jocko has a chapter called Sugar-Coated Lies, and it's one of the most direct sections in the book. He talks about those donuts in the break room, the cookies, the cake, the soda. He calls them what they are, poison. That junk doesn't fuel you, it kills you. It makes you weaker, slower, dumber, and deep down, you know it. But the lies we tell ourselves are so convincing. It's free. There's nothing else. I'll start my diet tomorrow. Wrong. Unless you've gone days without food, you don't need to eat it. Humans can survive 30 days without food. You can make it. When those foods call your name, he says get angry, get aggressive, stand your ground and say no. He calls it holding the line. Hold the line for your health, for your mental toughness, and to exercise your will, which he promises is stronger than the will of a donut if you want it to be. This is where the book shifts from why to how, from philosophy to action. The first action is physical training. The benefits are obvious. Better health. It prevents high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, insomnia, depression. It's even proven to make you smarter. It improves blood flow to your brain, releases helpful chemicals, and enhances mental processes. But maybe the most important benefit is the psychological edge. Waking up early and working out hard demands discipline. And Jocko believes discipline isn't a resource that depletes, it's a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it grows. Discipline breeds more discipline. When you start your day with that victory, you're on the path. You're more likely to eat well, attack your tasks, make good decisions. You want to stay on the path. The opposite is also true. When you sleep in, skip your workout, eat junk for breakfast, you're off the path. Your will never even showed up. So get on the path and stay on it. But to do that, you need to address the biggest obstacle for most people: sleep. Sleep is essential. Lack of it has serious consequences for your body and brain. Most adults need 7 to 9 hours. Jocko is one of those rare people who genetically need less, but he emphasizes that being in good physical shape and eating clean helps him need less sleep too. So how do you get enough sleep and still wake up early? The answer is painfully simple. Go to bed earlier. If you go to bed at 10 p.m. and wake at 5 a.m., that's 7 hours. If you go to bed at 9:55, you can wake at 4:55 and beat the enemy. The world belongs to you when you're up before everyone else. No traffic, no distractions, just you. He offers practical tips for falling asleep earlier. First, get tired. A hard morning workout will help you crash faster at night. Second, turn off the screens. The light messes with your brain, and the content is designed to hook you. Don't take the bait. Third, read. It relaxes your mind and makes you smarter. If the book's too exciting, grab a boring one. And most importantly, the key to sleeping early is waking up early. It might be rough tonight, but it makes tomorrow night easier. Even if you only get 5 hours of sleep, still wake up at your target time. You'll be tired during the day, which is good. It means you'll be ready for bed on time that night. He also talks about the power of martial arts. He believes everyone should train in martial arts, not just for self-defense, but for the profound lessons it teaches. He breaks it down into grappling, striking, and weapons. He says the ultimate self-defense is being smart and aware, avoiding dangerous situations in the first place. But if conflict is unavoidable, a firearm is the ultimate equalizer. He stresses the immense responsibility and mandatory training that comes with owning one. For unarmed combat, he gives a practical, no-nonsense breakdown. Forget the theories and emotional attachments people have to specific styles. We have decades of evidence from the UFC, combat, and street fights about what actually works. He recommends starting with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Why? Because most fights end up in grappling. Not learning Jiu-Jitsu because you don't want to go to the ground is like not learning to swim because you don't want to go in the water. It's the best way to handle that environment. It's also incredibly complex and cerebral, a never-ending challenge. Next, he recommends boxing. With just 2 weapons, your left and right hand, you learn footwork, angles, and how to deliver and avoid strikes. Then Muay Thai for its devastating arsenal of elbows, knees, and shins, and wrestling for its unmatched ability to control a fight's position. But the benefits go way beyond physical techniques. Martial arts get you comfortable being uncomfortable and fighting through it. It's a mental and physical grind. If the martial art you're training is easy, it's probably not doing you much good. Finally, he addresses the practical side of fueling this machine, diet. He advocates for a diet our bodies evolved to eat over millions of years, not the modern diet we've only had for about 10,000 years. He calls it the Paleolithic or caveman diet. Essentially, eat meat, fish, eggs, vegetables, nuts, and some fruits and dairy. Don't eat grains, potatoes, refined sugar, and processed oils. This means a diet of mostly fat, then protein, with minimal carbohydrates. He warns against the 80-20th rule, where you eat clean 80% of the time. He says it's a slippery slope. 80-20ths becomes 60-40ths, and before you know it, you're completely off track. Sugar is an addiction. You wouldn't tell a heroin addict to only use 20% of the time. Go cold turkey. Hold the line. And what about when you're traveling or at a party and there are no good food options? His solution is simple: don't eat. It's called fasting, and it's a gift. Fasting has incredible physiological benefits, but the psychological benefits are just as real. It forces you to exercise your will. It recalibrates your sense of hunger. You realize that most of the time, you're not actually hungry, you're just bored. He regularly fasts for 24 hours and does 72-hour fasts every few months. And he says it's not a big deal. He still works, trains, and lives his life. This entire framework, the thoughts, the actions, the fuel, is built on one of the most powerful reframing tools I've ever encountered. It's a single word he uses to respond to setbacks, failures, and disasters. That word is good. This is a mindset he developed in the SEAL teams. When someone would come to him with a major problem, his immediate response was, good. At first it was confusing, but then he explained it. When things are going bad, there's always going to be some good that comes from it. Mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get the new gear we wanted? Good. We can keep it simple. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Got injured? Good. Needed a break from training anyway. Got beat? Good. We learned something. Unexpected problems? Good. We have an opportunity to figure out a solution. This isn't about being blindly positive and ignoring reality. It's about accepting reality, but immediately focusing on the solution. It's about taking that setback and extracting something valuable from it. And if you can say the word good, it means you're still alive, you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, you've still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack. This is the philosophy of Jocko Willink. It's not easy. It's not a hack. It's a path, a warpath. It's a daily commitment to fight your own weakness, to hold the line, and to take ownership of your life. It's understanding that the friction, the struggle, the discipline, that's what sharpens you. That's what makes you strong. And that's what will ultimately set you free. As we wrap up our journey through Discipline Equals Freedom, it's worth pausing to reflect on what this really means. On the surface, this book can seem like a blueprint for becoming an emotionless robot. Wake at 4:30 a.m., work out until you collapse, eat nothing but meat and vegetables, crush every obstacle. It's intimidating, and it's easy to think, that's just not me. But I think that reaction misses the real point. The brilliance of Jocko Willink's philosophy isn't in the specific actions. It's in the mindset shift underneath. It's about the transformation that happens when you stop seeing discipline as punishment and start seeing it as a tool. A tool for what? For crafting an intentional life. We live in a world constantly trying to make us weaker. Our phones are engineered to addict us. Our food is designed to trigger cravings. Our culture often celebrates comfort and convenience above everything else. In this environment, living with discipline isn't extreme. It's necessary rebellion. It's saying, I refuse to passively consume whatever life hands me. I'm going to architect the life I want. The most powerful lesson for me is the concept of good. It's such a simple, almost jarring response to failure, but it completely shifts the game. It moves you from victim to victor in a single moment. It's not about denying something bad happened. It's about immediately asking, what's the opportunity here? That mindset alone, applied consistently, can change your entire life trajectory. So how can you start applying these principles today without completely overhauling everything overnight? Here are a few simple, practical actions you can take. First, win the first battle. Tomorrow morning, set your alarm just 15 minutes earlier than usual. When it goes off, don't think. Just get your feet on the floor. That's it. You've won the first battle of the day. You've proven to yourself that you're in control. Second, hold the line once. Today, when you face a sugar-coated lie, a donut, a soda, a bag of chips, just say no. Just once. Feel the small victory of exercising your will over a fleeting craving. That's one representative for your discipline muscle. Third, embrace good. The next time something small goes wrong, you get stuck in traffic, you spill your coffee, you forget something, instead of getting frustrated, just say good out loud. Then find one small positive. Stuck in traffic? Good. More time to listen to this podcast or think. Spilled your coffee. Good. I needed to drink more water anyway. It'll feel weird at first, but it trains your brain to hunt for solutions instead of dwelling on problems. This book isn't about becoming Jocko Willink. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. And that journey doesn't begin with a giant leap. It begins with one small, disciplined step. That was a summary of Discipline Equals Freedom, Field Manual by Jocko Willink. We've certainly hit the highlights today, but I'll be honest with you. A summary is just a map. The real magic happens when you explore the territory yourself. It's in those quiet reading moments when a particular story or simple phrase hits you in an unexpected way. This overview is designed to help you decide if this book deserves your time. If anything we've talked about has sparked something in you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning. It's an experience that can genuinely change how you see yourself and the battles you face every day. The link to the book is in the description. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next deep dive into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's keep learning and growing together.